Another one bites the dust. Goal of this session activity is inviting pressure and a little focus on incentivizing versus restricting. With this kind of goal of inviting pressure, encouraging players to deal with pressure in tight spaces, there is a very common session activity called Over the River that uses a restriction to work through this process. And this is the Over the River goes something like, you have your 4 red on one side. Their goal is to transfer the ball over the river to a teammate on the opposite side. There will be defenders in the box, and they have to get 5 passes or 4 passes in order to transfer the ball. They have to get 4 passes before releasing. And so that kind of restriction can be beneficial in certain situations. However, an incentive like this can work maybe a little bit better because as a player, when I would do the Over the River, oftentimes if we had a 5-pass restriction, I would get to that 3rd pass, or my team would get to the 3rd pass, and there would be a great opportunity to release the ball across or over. Couldn't do it, had to get that 5 passes. So it would inhibit natural development of how we can invite pressure to release pressure. A different way to approach it is using an incentive, and it works like this. So red starts with the ball. They have 4 players on this grid, and of course the one on the opposite side over the river. And there are 5 blue defenders in this middle channel. Red starts the ball, and they can release the ball over at any time. But if they release the ball over without any defenders in the box, they get 0 points. If, however, they get 2 passes, or however many passes you think is probably beneficial for the level of your group, we'll use 2 for this. If they can complete 2 passes here, they invite 1 blue defender into the grid. If they do so, and once the blue defender enters the grid, they can release the ball over and get 1 point. However, if they can get 2 more passes, inviting a 2nd defender into the grid, they get 2 points. If they get 2 more passes, at this point total of 6, and they invite a 3rd defender in, and they release the ball over, they get 3 points. If they can get 10 passes, and they invite every single blue defender into the grid, and they transfer the ball over, they get 5 points. For this, there is also the opposing kind of opportunity as well. If, let's say, for example, for the defenders, for the team in blue, they're trying to win the ball back. Let's say 1 defender has entered the box and they win the ball. That 1 defender steals the ball and is able to dribble out of the grid. Because they have 4 defenders in the channel, they get 4 points. If upon the invitation on that 4th pass for the 2nd defender, they win the ball, dribble out of the grid successfully, they get 3 points. So there's an inverse relationship in scoring. And so for this, we would go a few minutes, giving red the opportunity to start with the ball, progress, invite pressure before progressing, and then we would switch roles. This kind of, offers that, attack, transition, defend, transition. But it does so in a way that allows that open door for transferring the ball over when it's appropriate and when we can encourage it. And it also varies, allows for variance of the level of your player. So if you might have a group who can invite 3 or 4 defenders in successfully and challenge them on that, that 10th pass, that 5th defender, but you might also have some players who might be better suited to inviting 1, 2, or even just 3 defenders, but that's okay because it scales the level of the player quality and encourages transfer the ball over by inviting pressure in a way that keeps the door open for the natural flow of games that we usually see anyway. So another one bites the dust, inviting pressure, how to use incentives instead of restrictions.